We're back! You know that feeling before you go on vacation where you feel guilty about taking the vacation because you're like, oh my god, I spent so much money on this vacation. I don't know if I should be going, and especially right now because the economy is economying and it's all giving us anxiety. I went on vacation and I came back a new person. I get into it in this month's edition of my monthly newsletter on Substack called The Mailroom. And for those of you who've been following along, it's been about 5 months in, and I can't believe it's been this long. I like to write these as a reflection of the month ahead or the month that I've just experienced. That's why it comes out a little late, because I like to really write in real time. For me, it was all about vacation in the last 2 weeks, and not vacation like, oh my god, like I went on vacation, so let me tell you. And I know there's been a lot of content that I've been putting out that's been relatively that narrative. That's because also I got all these like opportunities to go and experience these beauty clinics while I was there, and I was very interested in doing these. In August edition of The Mailroom, I wrote because I truly believed in some semblance of this belief that Fran Lebowitz had once said. She said, I don't understand how people want to take a vacation. Why do people want to escape their lives? So that was the insinuation. If you designed a life that you really enjoy and love. And I took this to heart, and I was like, I don't need a vacation. I'm gonna work really hard, and I'm gonna create a life where every day I want to live the life I want to live. But guess what? As always, capitalism gets the best of you, and it gets in your head, it gets in the psyche, because after all, capitalism is the religion of America. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm a capitalist to some degree. I live in this country. However, you have to remind yourself, like, this is not the norm. We are not products. We are not machines that can just go, go, go. We need a reprieve. We need a reset. We need a refresh. And that's what Korea was for me. And for me, prior to going, it almost felt irresponsible for me to go because of the fact that I just started my consulting business. It was going to Asia in general is a big expense. Going on vacation itself is a big expense because you are paying for every minute that you are there, because you are, I mean, not that you're not paying for it at home, but you're paying for your lodging, you're paying for your food, you're paying for experiences, you're paying for transportation. All of it is out of pocket. And so for me, it felt really irresponsible for me to go when everything in the world seemed so shaky. And for me, I felt like I needed to hustle more, and rest felt like a failure. Rest felt like I had given up and I wasn't working or being gritty enough or hustling enough. And that's when you're like, no, and for me, Korea has been so rejuvenating, so refreshing coming back, and really helped me gain a new perspective on how to design a life that includes rest, that includes refresh. It doesn't mean that you have to travel halfway across the world to get this rest, although like I have obviously like familiar ties and cultural ties to this country that offer me a lot of solace and reconnection back to my roots. However, I was sadly mistaken. You do need rest. Designing a life that you enjoy doesn't exclude vacation, but rather a necessity as part of anything else in your life that you are designing to better enhance your living experience. So I talk more about this in my latest edition of the Mailroom newsletter. It's out now. It's linked in bio. And a few other cool things that are coming up. My Korea trip. I am putting together mini guides for food, beauty, shopping, neighborhood stays, for all the things I did during this trip. I went to Jeju, I went to Yeosu. I traveled obviously all around Seoul. I didn't go to any of those like TikTok-y places, so that might be interesting for some of you guys. Secondly, I want to just thank my first paid subscriber for my newsletter. It's so crazy. She just sent me such a warm note, and again, my newsletter is never really meant to push people to pay or ask them to pay for money, but it's just so gratifying to see that people appreciate my content and the type of work that I'm trying to do by sharing my stories. And so it meant a lot. Thank you so much to her, and hopefully this is the beginning of a bigger ending. And so I hope you join me in the mailroom. If not, I'll see you next month. Bye.